Um, so to start things off, just to introduce myself, my name is Daniel Alvaria. I'm the program manager for Food Access Initiatives. I'm joined together with my teammates, Tutu and Maddie, as well as the rest of the GrowNYC team. We're going to have Krista here from RP Solutions to go over this whole process. And thank you for being with us today. Okay, so to start things off, so as I was saying earlier, this is a new process where we are going to be using our Greenmarket Bucks that we normally use in Marketplace. We're going to be having our paper coupons that are normally redeemed through our site leads, but now we're going to be having a new option where we're going to be able to digitally redeem them using an fmVendor application. And we're going to outline how to do that as well as some key updates. All right, so here's going to be our agenda for today. We're going to go through just some background and context for how we got here, what the program is all about. And then we're going to have a step-by-step process on how to sign up and what that means. And then we're going to close in with how to redeem it and use the app. And then we're also going to have some time for questions. So for any of the folks that aren't going to be here today, we're going to be having this recording made available via YouTube and a public channel. And this is just the beginning of the process. So we'll be rolling that out later in July. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for questions outside of just this training. All right. To start things off, I'm going to hand things over to Tutu to kind of walk through our background context for the OTC program. All right, folks. I cannot hear you. Mhm. Just give ourselves one, folks. One moment.
Uh, what about now?
Yes, now
Great.
you're good.
So sorry, folks. Hi, everyone. My name is Tutu Badaru. I'm the Assistant Director for Food Access Initiatives here at GrowNYC. And we
Yes.
thought before we start talking about this new program, we would sort of explain how we got to where we are and why we made a decision to digitize the Greenmarket Bucks redemption. Next slide.
Okay. And Tutu, just your video is not on right now.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
No problem.
So our program has, been a part of GrowNYC from the beginning. I don't need to. Sorry, I'm stuck. There, I'm having issues with my camera, so I'll just keep going for right now. So the Food Access Initiatives program started to ensure that various New Yorkers could access all the food that was being sold at the farmers markets, whether or not they were using cash or other nutrition incentives. So as a program, we promote the acceptance of SNAP, EBT, WIC, and Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, Health Bucks, Health First OTC, and all of these are accepted at all of our green market sites. So you can see images of all the currencies we accept at the bottom there. In 2025, we distributed and redeemed over 5.2 million in nutrition benefits. So this is a huge part of the work that we're doing, which is why it's important to us to make sure that this work continues to go on. So next slide. So green market bucks are our internal currency. It was created to continue to allow additional opportunities for people to use currency at markets. So we oversee this currency, and it's one of the currencies that we use for OTC, which is our over-the-counter program. And we also sell them to external organizations who want to use them for fruit and vegetable prescription programs or just to give out to their employees to encourage them to go to the farmers market and buy local food. So most customers use them directly with farmers, and the different colors indicate the different eligibility. So like there's one for all products, there's one for only fruits and vegetables, and there's one for SNAP eligible items. All green market producers who sell eligible items have to accept them. This is indicated in people's contracts every year. And then because these are paper coupons, we only print them for a year, and so they expire at the end of the year on December 31st. Next slide. So because the green market bucks are part of the currency that we use for our OTC program, I wanted to talk a little bit about the program, how it started, and why it's necessitating a transition from paper coupons to a digital program. So in 2020, Congress signed the Chronic Care Act, which allowed insurance companies that provide Medicare Advantage plans to also offer grocery allowances to folks who were chronically ill and folks who had nutrition conditions that could benefit from food as medicine treatments. And so in 2021, Health First, which is a large insurance company in New York City, they reached out to us. They wanted to be able to extend access to the farmers markets to their beneficiaries. And so we launched a pilot with them. In the first year, we thought we would be doing around 50,000. We ended up doing twice that amount. And since then, the program has continued to grow over time. And I'll show you in a little bit sort of where we're at with that program. But in 2022, the pilot was very successful, and so we decided to make this a formal partnership, and that's where our OTC program started. In 2023, we were able to add on an additional partner, Humana, who unfortunately is no longer part of the program, and that's because the company was sold. But right now, we are currently reaching out to additional insurance companies to include them as part of our OTC program. Next slide. So how does OTC work? People bring their cards to the information tent. A GrowNYC staff member will use our Total Pay app to be able to swipe the card, and then they're given the green market bucks, which you as farmers will see. They'll bring those to the tents to use them to buy food from you. Next slide. And then just to give you an idea of how impactful this program is, in 2025, we did over 528,000 in OTC sales. 95% of these coupons were redeemed, meaning that people got these coupons from us and almost immediately turned around and used them with customers. This is one of the most, successful nutrition incentive programs in terms of redemption rate. For health bucks, I believe our redemption rate is a little over 85. I think the last time they let us know. So we already know like the proof is in the pudding. This program really works. And what we're hoping to do is to continue to expand this so that you as farmers can get additional revenue. Next slide. So as I mentioned, in the first year, we thought we were going to do about 50,000 in sales. We ended up doing about 300,000. The next year, we went up again to 500,000. Right now, we're sort of at a plateau, and that's because there's a couple of reasons. One, in 2024, there was a decrease in the funding that was made available for this program, but also we've sort of saturated our existing customer base. Right now, we are working on expanding promotions around this program so we can get more people who normally wouldn't be coming to the markets to know about this program. We are also going to be exploring adding other insurance partners so they can continue to keep that sales number growing. So these numbers you see here, this is the work that we haven't put in a lot of promotion work into it. It's sort of word of mouth. It's people coming to markets knowing that they have this OTC benefit. It's the posters people are seeing at markets. So we are working with our partners to do a lot more promotion so we can continue to get those numbers up. Next. Oh, sorry, go back to the previous slide. So, when we started this program, we didn't expect it to do as well as it was doing, which is why we started to use the internal currency. But the moment we started to hit numbers like 500,000, it started to become really challenging to get those paper coupons. Essentially, what you have is our staff members are carrying almost $1 million from our offices to their homes, to their markets. These coupons are going into the markets, coming back to us, being scanned, shredded, and if we want to actually grow this program, we can't continue. We knew that we couldn't continue to have it be a paper coupon version. So we started exploring, connecting with various tech partners who would allow us to be able to make this a digital process. So next slide. So some of the challenges I already started to talk about is, it was one, we had to pay for these coupons to be printed. They're physical coupons. They get very easily destroyed in the rain. We have to get them out to various sites. So that's an additional logistical hurdle. And then once they're redeemed by producers, we have to bring them back into the office. Somebody is responsible for scanning them. We have to keep them for a year. And then also have to destroy them once, the year has elapsed. And we knew that continuing with this way wasn't, doable with over 500,000 in sales. We needed to do something that was more efficient. And that's where we bring our digitization process into play. Next slide. So we wanted to reduce some of the administrative burden on staff. We wanted to make sure that farmers have a seamless process as they scan the QR code for the customer. And we wanted to make sure that funds can be transmitted a lot faster than before. So we reached out to the New York State Health Foundation. We put to them a proposal. We told them about this incredible program, how essential it is to promote the food as medicine ethos, and they agreed to fund this pilot for 2 years. So that's who's paying for a lot of the back end work. So the partner that we're working with is RP Solutions. You might already know them. They are currently doing digital redemptions for ag and markets. So if you're redeeming digitally your FMNP and Fresh Connect coupons, they're a group that you are familiar with. They don't only work with New York State FMNP, but they also work with various entities across the state, across the country, actually. Next slide. So just to give you an idea of what this program is like, so in the first phase, we had to design a platform and customize it for our use. RP Solutions is helping us with that. They helped us also design some of the training materials that you're going to see. We tested out the platform. It works. It should be pretty seamless as folks, get onboarded onto it. Right now, we are in the training and launch phase. So we are training you as producers on how to use this. Then we will also train our staff because they need to understand some of the administrative requirements on their end. Then we'll also make sure that all the resources that we've developed are also translated into Spanish for Spanish-speaking customers. And we had thought we would launch in April, but we're actually launching in July 2026 with a new fiscal year. And then post-July 2026, we hope to work out any kinks, any issues that folks are facing. We'll be, dealing with RP Solutions to fix that. And the goal is to move to a fully digital process in 2027, where we won't have any paper coupons. What will happen is customers will come to the information tent. They will have an e-wallet or a QR code and a key tag. We will scan that QR code, upload benefits to their account, and they will take that QR code either on an e-wallet or a key tag directly to farmers who can debit their account without needing any papers in between. So the goal is by then we'll have various insurance companies as part of the project, so you can expect to see a lot more OTC sales happening in the market. Next slide. Some of the benefits of moving into a digital process is that the transaction is going to be faster. Customers won't be counting paper coupons. You'll just scan their QR code, enter the debit transaction, and it'll be very easy. There'll be a reduced administrative burden on your end and our end. You won't have to be counting and scanning paper coupons. It was going to allow us to be able to scale up this program to allow more insurance companies to take part. Um, and it's also going to reduce any delays in reimbursement. Right now, we're working on a every week, so on a weekly payment cadence. So yes, so right now in the hybrid version, if you submit your redemptions before Wednesday of each week, you'll be paid the following week on Wednesday, and that's much faster than what would be happening if you are doing it with the paper coupons. And Daniel will talk about that in a little bit. And also for you, for your own accounting purposes, you're going to be able to keep track of all the money that you're receiving, your payment process, so that you can use that for your accounting. And then because we're working with RP Solutions, who's already doing this with FMNP coupons and Fresh Connect coupons. That system is going to be pretty familiar. So folks who are already redeeming digitally for FMNP and Fresh Connect coupons, you're going to be using the same app, and you won't need to log into a completely different system to scan your coupons. I think that's next slide. So, yeah. And then I will hand over to Krista, who is from RP Solutions. Maybe Krista, you want to introduce yourself and share what you do at RP.
Sure, thank you, Tutu. Hi, I'm Krista Katie, and I'm one of the project managers at RP Solutions. So I assist with the implementation of new projects, new setups, and then provide the training needed to get everyone onboarded and using the new platform. And so once you're onboarded, then we have a dedicated support team that's available to answer any questions and assist with any questions you may have. So I do have Ariel here from our support team. She also manages the day-to-day operations of this program. So she's available for any questions as well. So I'm not sure how many, producers on this call are familiar with fmVendor, but I'm going to go through high level, just getting onboarded onto fmVendor, with just some short training videos, give you the opportunity to ask any questions. And then we're going to go through the linking of accounts so that if you do already have an existing account through Ag and Markets for either FMMP or Fresh Connect, you'll be able to link your accounts to make the whole process of scanning the Green Bucks coupons and any FMMP and Fresh Connect coupons seamless in the mobile app. The main access for fmVendor is just fmvendor.com. And when you first sign up for the program, you will receive an email to the email address that you've specified, and that will provide you with information for activating your account and sort of getting started on the platform. Once you've activated that account, you will be able to link your accounts, if you have existing ones. Next slide. So what this training video is going to show is just sort of the activation process. So, the Grow New York City team is going to send out a notification letting you know when you can expect to receive that activation in your inbox, just a little before the July 1st start date, so that you're on the lookout for it. And this video will show you just the steps once you receive that email for activating your account.
To activate your fmVendor account, navigate to your inbox and open the Activate Your Account email. This email will provide you with instructions for activation as well as account details. The organization and username are provided and should be saved for future reference. Select Create Your Password. This will navigate you to the fmVendor platform and allow you to create a new password for your account. You're able to use the eyeball in order to see your password and confirm it is what you want it to be prior to selecting the Create Password button. Once your password has been created, you will now be able to use that password to log into your fmVendor portal.
Okay, so once you've activated that password, you're considered onboarded into the system. If you're going to link your accounts, we'll go through that a little later, but this part is just going to take you through the process of like the base steps if you're just as a new producer coming onto the fmVendor platform. So once you've logged in for the first time, fmVendor is going to walk you through just a couple of configuration screens to get you fully onboarded. That first screen is going to be this farmer profile screen. And on this screen, what you'll need to complete is your business legal name. And so this is the name you do business under. So in some cases, it can even be your personal, your name if you report your taxes for your business under your personal name and social security number, that's what you'll put into your business legal name. Or if you report taxes under a business name with an EIN, that's what you'll put into this business legal name field. This short video will just show you that information and show you the other information available on the farmer profile screen.
Once you have activated your account, you can sign into fmVendor and begin entering your profile information. You will need to enter your business legal name, which is the name you use for tax reporting purposes. This may be your business name or may be your personal name. In my case, I'm entering my farm name for my business legal name. The tax ID number will either be your business EIN or your personal social security number. This is not required unless you exceed $20,000 in redemptions for the season. At the $20,000 threshold, this information becomes required for 1099-K reporting purposes. You can view the rest of your farm profile details and make adjustments as needed. Once you have reviewed everything and it looks correct, you can select Save Profile and continue.
Okay, so the main user that is onboarded into the fmVendor system for your for your account will always have the username of admin, and that user has special permissions within the system. So you'll always use that admin account, for logging in and making any profile changes or bank account information updates. So the next step in the process will be to enter your bank account information. So for the GrowNYC program, it is required that you have a bank account for direct deposit configured within fmVendor, all with very few exceptions that Daniel can speak to towards the end of this presentation. Anyone accepting the green bucks will need to be able to accept direct deposit for those funds. So this video will show you how to enter your bank account information into fmVendor.
You will need to connect a bank account to your fmVendor account in order to receive direct deposits weekly. You can set up either a checking account or a savings account. In my case, I'll be setting up a checking account, and I can use the microline on the bottom of my check to determine the values to enter for the routing transit number as well as the account number. Once I have entered the routing number and account number and confirmed that what I entered is correct, I will select the Connect Bank Account button. This will submit a micro deposit to my bank account within 1 to 3 business days. At that point, I will need to look onto my bank statement for a 4-digit verification code and then log back into fmVendor to enter that code once it's available.
So the micro deposit will always be for a penny, and when it's on your bank statement, it will have the letters VRFY and then a 4-digit number as part of your bank statement for that transaction. And it's the 4-digit number that goes with the VRFY that's needed to fully activate your account. So this is really done just to make sure we have the correct banking information so that we know the funds are getting to the correct account. So although it is, it takes a couple of extra days to get fully onboarded, it ensures that the correct information is tied to your bank account and that you will receive the funds properly as soon as we start creating those direct deposits. So this video will show you just how to log back in and enter that verification code. The fmVendor platform does show you some samples of how it may look on your bank statement. There are a couple of banks that do not include the code on the actual statement. Probably the largest bank that does that is US Bank. So if your banking relationship is with US Bank, you'll just need to wait the 1 to 3 days, and then you can call the fmVendor support team or email support@fmvendor.com, and we can help you enter that verification code, even though it is not available on the US bank statement.
You will have received a verification reminder email to your inbox. Once you have retrieved the verification code from your bank statement, you can access fmVendor by navigating to your inbox and opening the email. In this email, there's a link to enter your verification code. This will bring you to the fmVendor portal where you can log in with your username and password. Once you have logged in, you will be on the Verify Bank Account screen. At this point, you will enter the 4-digit verification code that you retrieved off of your bank statement, and then click the Verify Account button. That completes the bank verification process.
So at that point, you're fully onboarded onto the fmVendor platform. And really the last step for you to do is to assign markets to your account. So when the advantage to assigning specific markets to your account is that it'll trim the list. So, there's probably a couple hundred markets that are maybe available. If we're looking at the state as a whole and not just the GrowNYC program, there's even more markets available. And so in order to trim down the list that's displayed in your mobile app, you'll select just the markets that you participate in. And if you can change those at any point in time. So if you stop selling at a market or you start going to an additional market, you can always modify the markets that are available in your list. So this video will show you just selecting multiple markets and putting them into your assigned markets list.
To assign markets to your account, log into fmVendor. You can then navigate to Farms and Vendors and assign markets. This will provide you with a full list of available markets in your state. You can select the markets that you plan to participate in and click Save Assigned Markets. This will then provide only those markets for display in the fmVendor mobile app.
So once you've completed all of those steps, you will be able to install the fmVendor mobile app. It'll display on your dashboard. So when you log in after you're fully onboarded, your landing page will be this farmer dashboard, and at the top it'll provide you the links for both the Apple Store and Google Play to download fmVendor. So here's just a video that shows you the steps for installing fmVendor.
From the fmVendor dashboard, you can select to install the fmVendor app used for redeeming coupons. You will download the app either from the Apple App Store or from Google Play. I will download fmVendor from Google Play and install it on my device. Once the installation is complete and I open the mobile app, I will be prompted to enter my organization name, my username, and my password. Once I have entered all that information, I will be able to log in. Here I will be able to see the list of markets that I had pre-selected and I can choose which market I would like to select as my market for the day. And now I'm ready to take payments in the mobile app.
Okay, so that's if, the sort of straightforward onboarding process for a new account. And many of you may have already gone through that, for FMMP and Fresh Connect processing. If that is the case, then this linking of accounts will apply to you because you'll want to be able to link your new GrowNYC account with your existing FMMP and Fresh Connect accounts so that in the mobile app, it is seamless and you don't have to switch between programs depending on what type of coupons someone is redeeming at your location. So if you are in that case of having an existing account already, when you first log in with your Grow NYC account, you'll still need to activate a password for that account. But when you log in, at the top of the profile screen that's shown in this screenshot, you'll see there is a sort of a welcome message and then an option to link your account. You will definitely want to link your account because like I said, then in the mobile app, you will just log in with one of your accounts, but because your two different accounts are linked, you can scan any type of coupon. You do not need to select between anything. The fmVendor mobile app will automatically know if it's a Greenmarket Buck or one of those programs versus FMMP and Fresh Connect. So once you click on the link account button, you'll be brought to the link account screen. And here it's going to prompt you for the account you want to link your GrowNYC account to. And so this is where you'll want to know your organization name, your username, which will be admin, and your password for your existing FMMP account. And so once you enter that information, it will link your new account together with your existing account. It is doing a match on 4 particular fields. So first name, last name, phone number, and email address. So not only do you need your credentials, but that information between both programs needs to match in order for the link to sort of work. And so if they don't match, and that's okay if they don't, you will get an error message when you try to link them. So it'll be very obvious because there'll be a red, if you go to the next slide, message indicating which of those fields do not match between your accounts. And it's okay if that happens. You may have a different phone number that you entered. You may have just entered your name slightly differently. You may have used like a nickname or like, Dan versus Daniel when you signed up. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you can't link the accounts. It's just that the system is letting you know that the information we're requiring to match is not the same. And so I would say that the best thing to do at that point would be to call fmVendor support, and we can work through that with you and make the adjustments needed to make sure that we can link your accounts together. If the information does match between the two accounts, then, and if you go to the next slide, you'll get a notification saying that your accounts were successfully linked, and then you're all set to go. During the linking process, it will associate the bank account that is already associated with your FMMP and Fresh Connect account to the Grow NYC account that you're creating now. It will also match the business legal name between both accounts. So you will not have to go back through the bank account micro deposit verification process or manually set your business legal name. That will automatically happen when you link the accounts. The big thing to note with this is that since the Greenmarket redemptions require direct deposit for your funds, if you do not have a bank account associated for direct deposit on the FMMP and Fresh Connect side. Since that's not required for those programs, you will need to enter the bank account information on the GrowNYC side in order to fully onboard your account, since doing paper check redemption is not an option for this program. I guess, sorry, if we just go back one more second to that slide. The other thing just to note, because the bank account is being matched over to the GrowNYC account from the FMMP account, if that is not what you intended and what you wanted by linking your accounts, you can call the fmVendor support and we can sort of remove that bank account that linked over. You can still leave your accounts overall linked for ease of use with the mobile app, but we can remove the matched account and let you re-enter account for a different direct deposit account for the GrowNYC program. Once you log in and your accounts have been linked, it's pretty clear which account you're in. So you can really log in then with either account. And so in this case, you can see in the upper right corner, I logged in with, one account. You can see it up there. But when I go to the linked account manager screen, I can switch between the two. And the reason you would want to do that would be if you want to see the different dashboards to see how much you have redeemed for FMMP and Fresh Connect versus the GrowNYC programs. So you can switch between the two by just coming to the linked account manager screen, selecting which account you want to be looking at. And then when you go to the dashboard, you'll be to the dashboard for that particular account, and you'll be able to see your redemptions and scanned items separately for both accounts. Okay, and so now getting into just taking payments through the fmVendor mobile app. We saw the video on you would download the fmVendor app, you would log into that. Once your accounts are linked, you can really log in with either account. Because they're linked together, it won't matter. And then you'll select your market. The market selection will automatically display to you when you open the app once per day. But if you switch markets midday, you can go and just go to the markets and choose a different market should you, move your location. So to take a payment, it's really simple. Once you're in the mobile app, you can see where the red arrow is on the screenshot. Just you will click that, and then you can begin scanning your payments. You just would hover the phone over the QR code, and it will make an audible sound as it's scanning those payments. And so you'll be able to hear that each one of them is being scanned, and you'll be able to see them going in and listed in the mobile app. Is the video for scanning included in the slide deck? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the next screen.
Okay, awesome. And so then once you're done scanning, no matter how many you have in your stack, you can scan them, and then you would click finish scanning. In order to scan, you do need to fill in the box just above the QR code you can either write in your vendor ID, you can use your stamp, or you can put an X in that box to indicate. But in order to redeem it in the mobile app, you'll need to make sure that you have put the indication in that box of either your vendor ID or a check mark or an X. You do want to make sure that whatever mark you're putting there is not covering any part of the QR code. Otherwise, you may have difficulty scanning it. So it's important to just use that white area, like the white box, when marking the coupon. Okay, and so this is a video just trying to show the scanning process.
Taking payments in the fmVendor mobile app is simple. Once you're logged in, you'll be on the Take Payments screen. You'll click the button on the lower right to begin scanning. You will have your phone camera scan each QR code for the coupons you have available. Once you have completed scanning, you'll click the Finish Scanning button. This will bring you back to the main payment history screen and show you a total amount and total items scanned in that batch. These batches are automatically uploaded to the fmVendor platform and available for disbursement.
So batches do upload automatically and they'll be available. You'll be able to see them on your fmVendor dashboard pretty much immediately so that you can see what you scanned if you want to look in and look back at anything, not just in the mobile app view, but on your dashboard. There's, different sort of widgets on that dashboard that'll show you items that are scanned today, items that were scanned for the season, and items that are pending disbursement. And so items that are pending disbursement, the items get accumulated from Wednesday till Tuesday night and then get dispersed every Wednesday. So it's like a weekly cycle of Wednesday till Tuesday night, and then anything that made it into the system by Tuesday night on Wednesday, we initiate the direct deposit. So then by Thursday or Friday, the latest, you should see that those funds in your bank account. So I guess yeah, any questions on any of that, or Daniel will give some
Yeah,
details.
I was gonna say we'll hold off on questions for just a few minutes, just so I can wrap up. And I just want to say thank you in general for just going over through all that process. As you can know, there's a lot of steps, but really that's just kind of the initial setup portion of it. I think is going to be the most important. And like Krista was saying, her and her team are going to be available to walk you through any of those processes as you actually do it. You can call, you can email, and you'll be able to get people, especially on the phone call. Folks are available to actually respond right there. They won't need, there's not usually like a long, phone call queue or anything like that. So for us, the thing I just wanted to kind of wrap up and clarify about kind of the redemption process for it. Okay. Oh, oh, Feliciano, para usted, si tú quieres cambiar el idioma, hay un globo que está abajo. Tú puedes oprimir ahí mismo y cambiarlo a español. También hay las instrucciones que están en el chat también para hacer cómo hacer eso. Okay. Gracias, Cristal. Sorry, we just wanted to. Well, we had a late joiner for Spanish, so I just wanted to make sure that all the folks know how to do that. Um, so like I was saying, so for this year is going to be kind of a special hybrid year where we're going to be able to process things both the way we normally do in the field with the site leads like you're used to, as well as also using this fmVendor application to scan it digitally. And that's to give everyone a nice long runway to get used to the process, because once we roll around to 2017, we're going to be moving more towards just doing the digital process. So it's really important that everyone kind of gets the kinks out now and gets used to the process so that once we get to the end of the year, everyone is in the right boats. So we just wanted to clarify some of the things that we're normally going over. So redeeming at market, this process has not changed, right? So you're going to be doing the same redemption like you would with the site leads during your allotted redemption times at markets. One thing you want to make sure that we're checking is that the bucks that you are redeeming are compatible, right? So we rolled out the initial version of our Greenmarket Bucks that were our normal paper coupons. Those are different than the gold scannable ones that are redeemable for the FMM vendor app. Something that I want to make sure people kind of aren't confused about, because we're going to be training our site leads in this process, is if we are going to be stamping our Greenmarket Bucks with the intention of uploading them to the fmVendor application, we don't want to be redeeming those with the site leads. So make sure that if you are using any of the older bucks, or if you're using the gold scannable bucks, but you are still turning it into the site lead, that they are not stamped. That stamp is basically going to be the check within the fmVendor app to know that it's been used. So we want to make sure that we're clearly distinguishing those two. For the market redemptions, the payment process is going to be the same, where you're going to be turning it into the site lead, and that's going to be part of our monthly billing process, either a credit or a check. And that's going to be on the normal kind of 30 to 45 day range that we have for our Greenmarket Bucks. Normal kind of redemption process for it. With fmVendor, after you set up the whole process that we just went over, we want to make sure that you are once again identifying the ones that are compatible, right? So the Greenmarket Bucks that are going to be usable with the fmVendor application have this clear gold border around them. They're labeled scannable, and those are the ones that we want you to be stamping and uploading to the app as we had laid out in this process for it. Like Krista said, the schedule is basically on the weekly, depending on where you are in the week, you're going to be getting it. So there might be a few days different, but basically every single week you're going to be receiving those funds. And the difference is that those funds are going to be going directly to you. So we're not going to be sending you any kind of bill. You're going to be able to upload your link your bank account, set up direct deposit. And like we were saying earlier, because of the administration of the program, we're not going to be able to do paper checks. So we're going to require everyone to do direct deposit. So please work through that process. Do it now while we have this hybrid model. We're going to be rolling this out at the end of the month. So that's when you should expect your activation emails to be appearing in your inbox. And then starting in the new year, starting in the new fiscal year for us, for July, that's when we're going to be starting to go live, and you're just going to be able to start to receive payments using that application. For the folks that are still setting things up, the paper option is still going to be there, but we really, really want to encourage people to get on board as soon as they can, just so that we can familiarize ourselves with the process, so that we're not dealing with that at the end of the year. All right. And then, so now that we're at the end, we want to open it up to any individual questions, if you have any at the moment, but also don't feel any pressure to have all of your questions right now, because we're going to be, open for support both with RP Solutions directly and also with the FAI team, if you have any questions. So opening up the floor for anyone, if you want to mute, or you can also send things in the chat as well. I'll go through chat a little bit as well. Just some points of emphasis from the RP Solutions team. That onboarding email that you're going to be getting is going to have your organization ID. So make sure that you are saving that email for reference, because I think it'll be a good reference point for it as well. And then it looks like also when you are scanning the bucks themselves using your phone application, just remember that you have all your settings set to the right option, which means that you're just going to need permission. The application is going to ask you to use the camera, use the microphone. So you just want to make sure that you're giving it permission. If for some reason it's closed when you're using it's giving you a gray screen when you get to that screen, it might be a permissions issue. That's a common thing. Okay. Let's say, do you expect a smartphone, iPhone that's larger scannable available like when they use in the bank? I know that some folks have had some experience scanning with their phones, and that has been totally fine as far as what kind of capability they go. We don't recommend a particular smartphone. I think both Android and iPhone work for it fine. It's good to know that when you're scanning on the application itself, it's really pretty quick. You kind of just like float over it. So what we recommend is just lining up all of the when you're doing them in a session, let's say if you're going to be scanning them all in one session, kind of line them up in a table, and you can kind of just float over and beep as you go along on each one of them. Um, Chris, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that.
No, you can also use like an iPad. Like I know at some stands people prefer to have that.
Yeah, it's great as well. Yeah, both iPads and iPhones, tablets, they should all work. As long as you're able to download the application in the Android or iOS store, then it will work on any mobile device. Okay, what is the beginning portal to start? Oh, so for Ken, so you're able to, the portal is just the website version of fmVendor. So that's where you can log in and set up your profile, which is different than downloading the application itself.
But just to clarify, you will need to wait until you receive an onboarding email to activate your account. So the first step is to receive that onboarding email, activate your account, and then you will have full access to fmVendor. But until you get that onboarding email, you won't have a ability to log in there.
No problem, Ken. All right, folks. And I think for at least for Ken, I know that some folks have already done the FMMP process of it. So, remember that it's more or less the same. So had some good experiences doing it with that, then you should be able to set it up easily for this one as well. Mhm. Any other questions that folks might have for the GrowNYC team or for Krista? Just a reminder that this is our contact information. You can always start with us at FAI. If we're able to answer your question directly, then we will. If it's something that is more of a support option, then we'll send you to RP. Remember that RP is the ones administering the application itself. So any kind of app specific questions should probably go to them. If it's kind of anything like an account question or anything, if you're still redeeming through the paper process, that would be more for the FAI team. But either one of us can point you in the right direction. All right, folks. Give ourselves a couple more minutes. I don't want to say going once, going twice, but maybe. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up right now, just for the sake of the conversation for today. As a reminder for folks, this recording is being recorded, so we're going to be sending that out because we know that a lot of people are at market, they're busy. It's tough to get everyone lined up. And we're also going to be having the Spanish version uploaded as well. We were hoping that on the technical side that works out well, so that they should be available in both options for everybody, and that will always be there for reference. So look out for that in their email until for next week. Ariel, I think you have something. Come off mute if you need.
I just realized real quick, if there are any folks here who are part of the New York Ag and Markets FMP or Fresh Connect program and fmVendor already, who have not set up their account and would like to get a head start on this in order to make the account linking process a little easier, you can always email us at the support at fmVendor email, and we can get started on that process now, if you'd like to get familiar with that before you get onboarded through the GrowNYC program.
Great. Yeah, that's a great reminder. This is the beginning of FMMP season, so everyone is kind of getting ready and geared up. I think most folks have their applications and signs and received. So yeah, if you want to be doing our steps and the FMMP steps at the same time, I think that's a great move because that's where we're moving towards in the future. All right, folks. So I think that's going to conclude everything for today. I'll leave the chat open as everyone logs off, but it was a pleasure being with you all today. Thank you.